right, now it's bang on the hour from what I can see here. So let's start talking about the AHA Halo. What you've got on your screen at the moment is two images of the device itself, left and right hand side of the screen. And there's a smaller image in the middle at the bottom of the box and what it contains, which has the device, it has the holographic cards, it has the protective case with its lanyard, it has the charging cable, and of course the box and the manual. So you get quite a lot in the little box, all there to try and help yourself out with your well-being. So what are we looking at here? It's yet another amazing thing brought about by some of the most amazing people in the world, from my point of view anyway. It's a portable, wearable device. You can carry it in your pocket, you can have it in your handbag or your purse, and you can wear it on a lanyard round your neck, and it creates a programmable energy field around it. And it does genuinely engulf you in a scalar energy bubble, a bit like a giant beach ball, right the way around your body, 3 foot in diameter from the device itself, about 1 meter. Okay. So therefore, if you wear it around the middle of your body, it covers rather a lot of your body. So let's briefly discuss what scalar energy is. Now, scalar comes essentially from the research of the wonderful, famous Nikola Tesla himself, and it uses a double coil system. And the double coils create opposing magnetic vectors whose sum is zero. So there's no extra EMF being produced. All right. There's no net field you can measure with a magnet sensing meter. But there's a potential difference between the two coils set up in a certain way, which then releases the other energy, which is called scalar. And your body, which contains electrolytes and all other kinds of fun, salty things in it, sits inside the field and feels it of a certain level of entrainment, pressure, message, information on every cell membrane. So it can create changes, but you can't feel the energy itself. You just notice it's creating change. So this is a device which adds a deliberate set of frequencies on top of that energy, which would be possibly Schumann or any other user-loaded program, so that the energy emitted from the device becomes a quiet river of the scalar, and then there is a ripple added to the scalar itself, and the cells in your body tune to the ripple. So if you were to have like 7.83 hertz from a PEMF coil, it would change your brain waves in about 10 seconds or so, or 10 minutes. Okay. But the addition of the scalar means it can be done in 3 minutes. So you get a faster level of entrainment, you get more change, and the scalar has an effect on all the cells in your body. Because you're using scalar, it encourages the body to do some basic detoxification so that the process starts working faster in your body, like oiling the gutters of Venice. Okay, so the tide can carry the rubbish out to sea. It instructs your body, it assists your body in the detoxification process just because it has scalar. But you add the message to it, the information, the frequency combinations, and then other information is delivered to your body, which makes it do things. So if you're someone who likes, going to the gym and lifting weights, or maybe you like to do a Pilates class, or, something muscular, it's quite worthwhile having scalar in your protocol, in your way of life, because it encourages the body to push out the negatives so that the body can work more effectively, and maybe you might even get an extra couple of reps done. So you can take it with you when you're doing health and fitness activity, And you can use it when doing your wind down, your work down after you've done the workout itself, or maybe during the workout itself. And because you've got like a 1 meter bubble coming from it, you can place it, near your body, or maybe in your pocket, so that your whole body will then get some energy from the scalar. Okay, so there's no wires, no downtime, just a silent metronome telling every cell, repair now. Okay, so the addition of the frequency adds extra things to it. So your cells have got different things in it, like the DNA, the telomere, the mitochondria, and all this stuff going on inside it. And the cells want to work in a certain particular way. The proteins are bouncing around to their own music. When you add the scalar fields with a frequency or set of frequencies to it, there's still movement, there's still activity, but there's a change in terms of the way in which it do things. All right, the way in which the things in the cell operates and move around. And the halo helps to bring yourself into a different state because it encourages the mechanical resonance in a new way, the electronic resonance in a new way, the chemical resonance in a new way, which then affects your being. So if we were to have a more destructive combination of things, then it would do some damage to stuff. But if it's a positive entrainment, it reduces the negatives, increases the positives, and carries good information to the cells themselves. And scalar itself will lower extracellular viscosity. All right. So there'll be a new rhythm going through the fascia, the interconnective tissue, and therefore that will help to conduct, so it speaks, the message throughout yourself. Okay. There's no need for wires, no need to worry about skin resistance or conductivity. Just the information, the whisper, the message, the ripples, which all your cells will hear and obey. And the body will just follow the strongest beat in the room, which in this case is coming from the halo device. So if you become someone who owns an AHA halo, it gives you two principal benefits at once. Firstly, the helpful and therapeutic power of Scalar, which, strangely enough, also helps to give yourself some protection against EMF interference on your DNA and other forms of radiation upon your body. It reduces the negatives of that. And it helps your cells in their day-to-day duties, but also it has the ability to entrain wellness benefits for the body or the mind simultaneously. All right. It's been designed to be both portable and wearable. All right. So you can have the effect of a scalar field anywhere and everywhere whilst doing nearly anything. And you can give yourself more or less 24/7 treatments. So I don't use it in the shower, obviously, but that's when I put it onto charge to give it a bit of a boost to the battery. But I can give myself more or less 24 hours a day, 7 days a week treatment, and therefore increasing the functionality and usefulness. So it's not just for you, it's also for your pets, it's also for your plants, it's also for your livestock. There's different ways in which you can use this to try and bring about greater wellness. You could even use the water charging program and develop scalar water. And then from that, you could then water your plants or your crops with it. Okay. So it's not only wearable. You can, if you want, if you're bored of having it around your neck, it isn't a very heavy device. So you can wear it around your neck with great ease. You can have it in your pocket with great ease. But you can also just have it on your desk whilst working. And also, you can use it in a more experimental way, which is called imprinting. What you will get with the AHA Halo device is these cards which have holographic patterning on them. And these things you can place on top of or underneath the device itself. When it's running through a program, you allow the program to finish, and then the holographic cards will contain some of that information in it, and you can just carry the card around with you rather than having the whole device on you. So you can then spread some of the information to other people in their own energy fields through the holographic cards, or indeed through crystals or water. And when you drink water that has been imprinted with the scalar energy and the information of the device, you do either taste or feel the difference. All right, there's something going on there. I did some water charging when I first got my device, and it was pretty interesting. It tasted different, it felt different. The water felt softer somehow. It just seemed to be a much more enjoyable glass of water. Okay, now when actually using the device, you have to use the included USB-C cable. The reason for this is because it is a specially designed cable to charge off a regular USB mains adapter, but it also has a specific data functionality. All right. You can use the USB cable to charge other things, but if you want to translate the information from the software, which is of course free to download, free to use, free to update, you then need to use the data cable specifically for it. So here is an image from the software. It's been designed to be incredibly easy to use. Now, the top box, the top white box, that rectangular box at the top, all right, that contains what's called the quick pack. So when you get your Halo, you can just plug it into your computer, your Windows-based computer, which the software will run on, and you can just click on Install Quick Pack, and it will give you the intense head discomfort, good sleep 2, immune, relaxation, shoulder and neck, acne, muscle and tendon, 7 chakras, basically the top 19 most popular, as it were, tracks, all right, that most people are interested in. Then on the bottom, on the right-hand side, you can see the white box there. That contains the programs which I've installed. Your 19 programs will steadily appear all down there. And you can store up to 30 different programs. So if one program isn't quite working for you during the day, that's perfectly okay. You've got 30 different programs to choose from. Just for your information, it is quite interesting that each program can contain up to 10,000 frequencies. That's each program. All right. That's one of the reasons why the sleep programs have different durations, I would guess, because they have different cycles going on through them. Now, on the left-hand side, we've got the frequency program library, which has various different sections. Now, in this screen, I haven't shown you all the various different sections and departments, which is there with all the various different programs on them. It's just what I could fit on my computer screen. But you can scroll up and down using the scrolling thing here, and you can then see many more of the programs. And you can then click on the little circles beside them and then click another button, which will then transfer them all onto My Halo. Okay. And of course, you can click on the circles in your My Halo box, and you can click on the Remove button, and it will delete them to provide room for whichever programs you want to put onto your device. It is incredibly simple, incredibly easy to use, incredibly non-threatening, non-challenging, and the software is very friendly. I like the colors, I like the way it looks and feels. The whole brand of this device is for wellness, and I think that the color purple kind of like assists with that. So, as I say, most people, when you first get your device, you don't know what to do with it yet. The Quick Pack is a good set of suggestions for you. But out of all of the different categories, not all of the programs, but all of the categories, It includes comfort, sleep, beauty, cleansing, holistic body care, physical well-being, emotional well-being, energy pathways, which for me is very important, women's care, men's care, and also the full solfeggio frequency sets as well. So each category has many, many options for you to choose based upon your own needs at the time. All right. And there will always be something that will assist you in being able to feel better, improve your energy one way or another. Okay. Lots of different categories there. So here's a screenshot of a few of them. On the comfort side of things, you got tooth and gum, throat, stomach, shoulder, neuropathic, muscle, lower back, joints, heads, back, abdominal. There's the sleep programs, there's the cleansing programs for your blood, full body cleansing, gut health, heavy metal, kidneys, liver, lymphatic. And then there's a beauty section, which deals with your hair, your skin tone, your collagen, acne, and of course, young body, which is reported to help to improve telomere length in the cells, reducing the risk of, things getting bad as you get older. Now, on holistic body care, there's something for lots of stuff there. Vitamins and minerals, radiation toxicity, nerves, muscles and tendons, metabolism, joints, inflammation, immune system, endocrine, cartilage, bone, blood. It's just all there. And then general physical well-being, which is more like you're almost like first aid stuff. You got a cold coming along, you can put runny nose and sinus, seasonal sensitivity, common runny nose. If you got digestive issues, runny tummy, blocked tummy, these things help. Now, purely from the anecdotal point of view, after I received my halo, I had a bad time with my back. And it was starting to get really, really, really rather negative, and it was getting quite negative and painful for quite a long time. And I thought to myself, okay, what the heck? I will run Song of the Spine. And within about an hour, my back felt perfectly okay. So it does things for you. It just does things for you. Now, the emotional well-being side of things is great. The relaxation programs I've also tried, and oh my word, during a time of intense stress, I've run the relaxation programs and it just did its job. Also, negative energy seems to also affect some negative thought processes, clarity and focus when you need to do, real serious hard work, which I'll need to do in April when I declare my taxes. That's there for me as well. Now, on the spiritual side of things, we got a few brainwave things in here there as well, which is great. Beta, gamma. We've also got alpha, theta, delta. So, and also mindfulness. If anyone out there likes meditation in any form whatsoever, then, you need to use this for yourself. And I'll teach you the brainwave aspects, which I'll speak about shortly, is very important, very, very important. Forgiveness, cosmic energy, aura cleansing, study stress. Do you have a student who's gone to college? Have you got a student in the family who's gone to college? All right, well, they've got a choice. They can spend all their time on the beer to try and chill themselves out that way, or you can give them the study stress program. Okay, give them the study stress program, and then they can focus a little bit more, maybe even overcome some of their own neurodivergency, and then be able to work better on themselves. Okay. Obviously, there's lots of fun stuff for the ladies there, for the menstrual, for reproductive, body care in various different ways, and also the prostate for the men out there. Okay, it's important to keep your prostate healthy as you carry on getting older, because if you keep the prostate healthy, you're maintaining your testosterone, you're maintaining general health. So therefore, there's lots of good things there for the guys as well as for the girls, as well as things for the mind, the body, the different ways in which you can use the energy pathways. I use liver pathways a lot because I've got issues with my liver. And when it comes to Christmas, Christmas with the family, I'm going to be eating a lot of food, so I'm going to need to use liver pathways because that will just really help. Okay, then we've also got the full complete solfeggio section. Now you can select just solfeggio, and over the 27 minutes of the set, it'll take you through all of them and it will loop through all of them in order and in sequence. So therefore, it's pretty important. You can do them individually as well if you prefer. If you're doing like meditation for yourself, you want to spend, I don't know, 10 minutes on one, 10 minutes on the other, and do it that way, you can load them all up to your device. Or you can do them in a 27-minute chain and it will just run all by itself whilst you're out and about and you're working, you're traveling in cars and buses and trains and taxis and airplanes. And it can give you those sacred audio frequencies in a silent form. Okay. So it's there to help you in all kinds of different ways. Now, I mean, I like the solfeggio a lot because I like singing bowls. And, various times in the year, I like to listen to singing bowls because the energy of them is good. All right. But you can run the solfeggio frequencies silently without anyone knowing it's happening. And they all have their own different features and functions. 396 assists in dissolving fear and emotional burdens, creating a space for profound inner cleansing. Very deep stuff, okay? 741 hertz clears mental clutter and awakens inner clarity, supporting intuitive insight. All right. 963 for those who are into like the good spirituality. You can run that one during your meditations to activate the higher consciousness states and also the sense of unity, spiritual connection to your higher power, awakening of new spiritual ideas. And also the 174 and the 285, that's very good body frequencies. 285 encourages cellular renewal. Okay, let's say you're ill. You want to make yourself, you want to encourage your body to heal at the cellular level. 285 cycles per second on Solfeggio could possibly help you there. And of course, 528, that's there for love and wholeness and nurturing. Very good positive stuff. So, you can just select these things on the fly when you're going through your day and you need to change your state of being somehow, ever so slightly. All right. Now, if you look at the device itself, and I'll show you this when we're on camera again, okay? There's four buttons on the round disc. Very simple. Long press on the right-hand side turns the machine on and off. A short press on the right-hand side unlocks the device and use to play or pause a program. Long press on the left-hand side will lock the device so it can't be switched to another frequency by mistake, and also reactivates the screen before you unlock it again through using the right-hand button. Okay, very simple. And the up and down buttons, that's just so that you can scroll through the programs that you want to select for yourself. Very simple, very easy to remember, quite intuitive. And, if you forget, the device will show you as you use it that you're doing it right. It doesn't matter. It's very easy to use. So you've got easy to use software, easy user interface for the software, very intuitive, very commonsensical, very simple to use buttons on the device itself, and a lot of power. Okay. Now it's also got a breathing light. The AHA Halo logo there, you can have that activated and it will turn on and turn off in a wave. All right. And if you're doing meditation, you can breathe along with it if you wish. So you can set it to do a meditation frequency and you can breathe along with that. So it helps you to be in that meditative state if you want to use it. But you can also switch it off when you're not using the breathing light. And when it's turned off, it will save some of the battery in the runtime and it will be less distracting and people won't see the light through your clothing when you've got it on the lanyard around your neck. and it will be, that will be silent. But it's an extra feature which helps you to use the device in a meditative way. Okay, so that's what I've just mentioned there. And the breathing light is lit on this illustration there to show you that it's a light. Okay, it's beautiful. Right. Now, one way in which the halo really does shine for me personally is for brain wave entrainment. Now, it's not specifically designed for a brainwave device, but it does work well to help yourself out. Now, in my day, when I was young, we did have things to adjust your brain waves, but these would involve headphones in your ears or, spectacles over your eyes with flashing LEDs on them. You can't use that during a working day. You can't use that when you're driving. You can't use that when you're working on the phone. You can't use that when hanging out with your friends and your family. It's just inconvenient. Those are devices for when you're away from people and you're doing nothing and you've got your own personal spiritual space. But the Aha Halo itself has proven itself to be very good in helping you to reach brain states easier. So there's the Delta one for when you're in bed. That's a very, very slow, low brainwave frequency. So when you're trying to get some sleep at night, it'll be much easier to get into deep, proper sleep when running Delta. You can also run, of course, the sleep programs. Beta, on the other hand, is a very exciting frequency. Run that before you go out to a concert or a party or a nightclub. Just enjoy the buzzy, lively, enjoyable environment. Alpha is very calm, very meditative, very relaxing. Also very good for those of us who go to places of worship and we want to be in a calm, relaxed, prayerful state with much greater ease. So if you go to church on Sunday, if you go to mosque, if you go to synagogue, if you go to a circle place or maybe the place where people like sit down and share things of a spiritual nature, Alpha can really help you out. It calms the mind, it clears the mind. Now, for me personally, I have ASD. I'm a diagnosed person with ASD of various different types. And, theta has really helped me to be in a relaxed state, socially speaking, with people. It's kind of like it can be a relaxed, sociable, cheerful, jokey, fun kind of like state of mind to be in. And it helps you to spend time with other people and a generally relaxing state. Let's say if you like watching real fireplace videos on YouTube at the end of the day as part of your sundowning process. So that's something else. So if you know someone with ASD, with autism, ADHD, anything like that, theta could just be a good addition to try and create more of a wholeness of mind. Then there's the good Christian accepted form of meditation called mindfulness, just what it says on the tin. Okay, getting into the mindfulness states can be very difficult, especially if you've got a lot going on in your life. All right, trying to be mindful when there's stress, anxiety, fear, worries, the argument you had with someone yesterday, but you need to do your mindfulness so you become a better quality of person. Run mindfulness at the same time as you're doing your meditation, and it will really bring you into that calm, tranquil, appropriate, philosophical, slightly detached, but also understanding and loving state of mind. And also motivation. All right. You're looking forward to a project. You've got to get things done. You've got to keep yourself focused on your task. You need, that time of day when, oh my word, I've got to get this presentation sorted out very quickly, that sort of thing. Motivation is very, very good for that. And also, workout guys and girls, if you go down the gym, if you want to do cardio, you want to do weights, you want to pull yourself out of your sloth and torpor so you can do your Pilates, use the motivation program. Okay, then that will sort of like keep you focused on things you need to get done. It really does do its job. So let's just recap so far. You can balance your energy in lots of different ways. You can choose programs specifically for specific problems, for specific parts of the body, specific anatomical things. You can change your brainwave frequencies. You can mitigate EMF radiation. You can boost the brain states. You can encourage relaxation if you have difficulty relaxing at the end of the day. It's a sleep aid. The scalar itself is a detox support. And also you can work on your chakras and, all kinds of holistic forms of energy work. Just with this one device with more than 100 programs. And we know who we're dealing with here. We're dealing with the people who will add more programs with the passage of time. So I would expect there to be an awful lot more positive changes. You've got 18 hours worth of battery life, and the whole device has been designed with wellness in mind. Okay, so let's just start. We got the Q&A box down here, and I've also got the chat box there. We'll look at the Q&A box first, and I'll go through that bit by bit, and then we'll cover some of the features and functions that, you're curious about. Then we'll go to the chat box, and I'll go through there, see if there's anything different there, which I also need to pay attention to, and then explain to you. All right? It's a device which has done an awful lot of good for me already. The first question is, can you use the Halo with other devices as well at the same time? Yes, of course you can. I also do use the microgen myself. It's very good, in my opinion, to use this as well as the microgen because I tend to use my microgen predominantly for pathogen control, and that's, what I'm using it for. If I add something for scalar support, then I'm going to get the detoxification effect of the scalar as well. So if you're killing things off, there's going to be other stuff released into your bloodstream, which you'll then need to shove into your lymphatic system, which then goes through your this, that, and the other to eventually go out into your poop, basically. So this will help you to do some of the detoxification when you're going through the process of pathogen control with the microgen. That's a very good attitude to take. Uh, I don't know how you change the battery myself. No, I haven't got that far with the use of my device, but I'm guessing that you could probably go online and someone on the forums will be able to help you and advise you with that. But yeah, 2 years worth of usage of this or more, it's quite a good deal, really. Yes, I'm pretty sure if you're using other devices, you can use the Halo as well, without the shadow of a doubt. Charging time, incredibly quick. Now, what I do for my charging is I plug it in at bedtime. All right, so I have this under my pillow with a charging cable coming out of it to a mains USB. And so it receives a full charge when I'm in bed at night, and as well as running it at the same time as charging it. So I get the benefits of continuous, more or less 24/7 usage of the scalar field with whatever programs I want at whatever time of day I require for the purposes of helping myself out there. All right. I don't think it is better to drain the battery completely. You know, at the end of the day, just plug it in. All right. They have good batteries these days. It's supposed to take that kind of usage. No, I don't think it is redundant to run the AHA Halo whilst running the Spooky 2 scalar equipment at all. I think the two work well together, and I think you're adding an extra scalar bit of information, which means that I do have my scalar boxes running. At the moment, they're running liver support because of certain particular challenges I'm going through, and also I'm doing a lot of pathogen killing, so therefore I use liver supports on the scalar boxes, okay, in order to help myself out. And then this then runs all my sleep programs. So therefore, it helps me to get to sleep and stay asleep whilst I'm receiving the treatment from other sources. So yes, it's really good. Right, this one says, my spouse and I each have a halo. At night, can one run a good sleep program and the other a delta brainwave and place the halos between us and increase sleep quality? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the worst that will happen there is you get some overlap between the fields because each device has got 1 meter field around it. All right. You got to imagine that there is a ball which has a 1 meter radius. So yeah, if you've got those radiuses, those energy balls kind of like overlapping, in the place where they overlap, there'll be some of the information from one device and some of the information from the other, but it will both do you some good. You have to experiment with it. You have to use it yourself. All of these things, you know. Yeah, sure. We can. I can tell you about updating the software. Right. I don't know what specifically would be beneficial for Parkinson's because I'm not a medical practitioner who knows Parkinson's. But essentially, if you're talking about like the shaking and the rest of that, maybe even some of the entrainment frequencies that I use, even theta would be very useful because it will bring some relaxation to the brain and to the body. Even if you were to run alpha, then that would provide some harmonization of the brain and the body together. So that would be good. 7.83 Schumann would be very good as well because it's very useful. Okay, now this is not specifically a pathogen killing device. All right, there isn't all that much in terms of pathogen killing in it. So as far as candida use is concerned, it's something which will help your body, but will not necessarily attack candidiasis. All right, so you got to think about where your goals are at the moment. You could use the vitamin and mineral programs if you have candida, because essentially candidiasis and all of that kind of stuff blocks up your digestive tract, so you can't absorb as much nutrition. You do need to be a very aggressive candida killer if you've got candida, but you also need to work on the vitamins, the minerals, also your chakras and solfeggios as well, because they help to bring about extra wellness too. All right. So you'll be using this with another mindset if you have candidiasis. And that is, I'm using this to nourish the body. I'm using this to nourish my own fields, my own cells, so that the invaders don't do as much damage to me. And then go out aggressively using other technology and other methods to attack the candida. So this provides your body with strength and wellness and opportunity. And then you use another method to control the candidiasis. And this will help you with the detoxification of your body because you've got a scalar field around you, and that's what scalar does. All right. All right. As far as dementia and stroke is concerned, anything to affect the mind positively. All right. You might find some of the brainwave frequencies like beta quite useful because that will stimulate some of the cognition and some of the clear-mindedness. Alpha would be good for peace, and it's higher than theta. Okay, so stimulating the brain could be useful, but in the case of a stroke, it would be hard to say. But just having a scalar device on you will encourage the cells to be healthier. And if you're encouraging the cells to be healthier, then lots of other good things can start to come about. So again, then you're using this for your wellness, but you use something else specifically to treat the dementia and the symptoms that's been brought about by the stroke. By all means, use Generator X as well as using the Halo. Yes. Multimodal healthcare, if you're doing everything yourself, as I have to, because a lot of my conditions are not treated by the medical profession in this country, is necessary. Okay, multimodal healthcare is important. And that means doing something else alongside everything else you're doing brings you that extra, degree or two in the right direction. Okay, I don't understand scleroma or fascial Romberg. Well, now, if that's autoimmune, you'll need to think about your immunity. Now, there are programs for immunity in this. There's also your vitamins and minerals as well. There's all kinds of ways which you can boost yourself energetically speaking. And therefore, that's the kind of direction of experimentation you need to go through. All right. It's very good for you. Is there a recommended minimum or maximum times? No, no. There's no recommended minimum or maximum times. The longer you treat, the more you'll get the effect, you'll get the feeling, you'll get the change in your body. The longer you treat, the more you get the effects in your body. Let's say, you're a lady who's got menopausal problems, you'll probably want to run it for a long period of time, especially at certain times of the month, and keep that one particular program running for, all day, all night, all day, all night for a while. Sometimes, if it's more to do with emotional and psychological, like what I do, I change it, taking into account the needs I've got at the time. Yes, you may use it whilst it's charging. There's no problem with that whatsoever. Do use it whilst it's charging because you want to try and keep yourself in the field for as long as you can. Yeah, you can use this for people who've got, heart monitors and pacemakers. I think so. Yeah. I mean, I would be cautious about some of the frequencies, possibly, but because it's not a contact device. All right. The scalar energy which is emitted works in a longitudinal wave form. All right. So it's going to be a different experience for the body. Okay. Now, if you got diabetes, there's all kinds of things you could be using there. But again, you need to think about this as being the wellness boost. Whilst you're doing other things to destroy your diabetes and the symptoms of it, you use this to make sure you're keeping yourself in a state of well-being. Okay. Now, I'm not a medical practitioner myself. I'm not qualified sufficiently. You could bring me into one-on-one conversation and we can have a chat and then I'll discuss it with a medical AI and we can hold a conversation between everything you know, everything my medical AI knows, and everything I know, and we can try and find a way forward for you. But remember, I'm not actually a medical practitioner. Now we're going to go on to the chat and see whether there's anything else there. No, it will only be working on Windows-based software. Okay, Windows-based software. How to remove a program after some time and replace it with some other program from the library. That's quite interesting because what you do is you plug your device using the charging cable into your Windows-based computer. Do that first, turn the device on. Then you boot up the software and you will have on the right-hand side, it will populate with all the programs in your device. And you click on the circles of the programs you want to remove, and you click on the remove button, and it will take them away. Then you have a look at the left-hand side of the screen, and that will have the programs that you might want to put onto the device. And you select the circles of the programs you want to load onto the device. You click the button, and in a few moments, you'll see a progress bar, okay, which will appear telling you the progress of it loading those programs onto the device. Very quick, very easy, very commonsensical. Yeah, absolutely. The Song of the Spine run on Aha Halo is amazing. If you are tall, if you get even any form of back problem whatsoever, all right, this will help it. This will reduce some of the pain and the discomfort and will make you a lot happier inside yourself. Yeah, metabolism and endocrine would be a good possibilities for diabetes. It would have to be a Windows-based computer. Windows 10 will be fine. Windows 11 will be fine. So long as you've got a USB socket and the computer is capable of handling the software. I mean, some of the smaller tablets which are out there might not necessarily be appropriate, but a laptop, fine. Get it online, download the software from ahaharmony.com, and then you can do it. Yeah, there's instructional manuals, there's instructional videos out there. I don't know what other Spooky 2 would run on the Mac flawlessly. Okay, that's news to me. Apparently, it does run on the Mac flawlessly. The software does. Okay, you can't chain programs. No, you just change them whenever you want. You change them. So if you got 30 on here, I can show you I'm currently running relaxation number one. That's why I'm talking relatively slowly and calmly. unlike my normal rate of communication. You've probably heard me speak before, okay? But if it's good enough to help me to slow down when I'm speaking, that's powerful. Seriously, okay? But I once if I don't think I'm feeling quite as good on that for the moment, I can then change it from relaxation one. I can use the arrows and I can go through a few other things and I can choose another program. Uh, okay, I'll go on to young body for the moment because that's just generally good for me. And I press the right hand button because with the buttons, okay, with the buttons down here, I can pause a program through pressing the right hand one. The little pause symbol appears there, and I can play it again through pressing it again. I can press the right hand button and hold it down, and the screen goes away, so I can save power. Okay, if I press the right hand button again, the screen comes back on, but it's got a lock symbol. And I can then press the right hand button and the lock symbol goes away and it's replaced with the gentleman meditating or the lady meditating, I should say, or person. Okay, then I can go up and down and I can just choose what I feel like next. All right, some of these things actually that's always a good one. That's the 528 kilohertz. I mean, I'm quite a fan of audio, and I'm quite a fan of things such as musical entrainment. So it's all running now, running the love frequency of 528. I can hold down the left hand button and the screen goes off. So I know that my scalar is going to be producing that one particular frequency. So you kind of like get the energetic effects of things like, your Tibetan singing bowls or, tuning forks and that kind of stuff, but without anyone else being interfered by it. So I can have a relaxing frequency when I'm in the pub playing board games with my friends. I can have a relaxing frequency when I'm meeting my family, and they don't need to know that I'm doing something for my brainwaves to help me to cope in a complicated situation. I can work on my prostate. I can run the prostate frequencies if if the medicine's not working right and I need to give myself a boost in that direction. I can do that as well. And I can change taking into account where I'm at and what I'm doing and what I'm going through. Okay, I mean, even some of the solfeggios could possibly be useful for Alzheimer's as well. I mean, there's like the second one from the bottom, I think is very good for cellular repair. So that could possibly be quite useful to try and bring some balance into all those things. When I'm dealing with candida, I'm tending to use other devices. But when I'm giving my body the healing it requires, when I'm going through candida die-off, and there's a possibility of a Herxheimer reaction, and there's a possibility that the die-off itself could be producing neurotoxins, which could then go around my system. I do a lot of pathogen control on my body anyway. And when you do a lot of pathogen control, you can get like some bad symptoms from that. And I'll run the theta because that will help to clear the mind. There's frequency sets in here, which is there to clean the body as well and to operate on detoxifying the body. So if you're dealing with pathogen control, stack this on top. Okay, stack the AHA halo on top of what you're doing for your pathogen control. That's why it's quite good to use alongside Microgen. It's quite good to use alongside the XMs as well as the Generator X Pro. So it all helps, it's all balanced. Right, right. If you're struggling with firmware updates, I think there should be something in the software which should be able to help you with that. And I think there will be a button that will appear. Yeah, each program does mention its runtime for that program. So 528 hertz is has quite a short duration. Its total duration is not that many minutes, but it's already done two run-throughs. At the top there, it tells you how many run-throughs it's done, and it's got this purple progression bar, which shows you how far through it the process is gone. And when the purple line has gone all the way around to the beginning, then that's one cycle completed. Okay, so I've had this running for a little while, and you can see how far the progression has gone. And if you carry on watching it on the faster programs, you'll see it progressing bit by bit as it nudges round. So you can tell roughly how long you're going to be on that program for. So I could run 528 all day long if I wish to make sure I'm entraining myself in that one particular way and encouraging the cells. Well, yes, it is rather similar to the scalar technology you get from Spooky 2, but it's kind of like compressed, but you're not placing your body between the two boxes, right? The scalar boxes, they have the lids, they flip up, okay? I'm sorry, they flip up, right? And you get a rugby ball shape of field between the two of them. So it's designed for you to sit in or lie in and program with the molecular, with the frequency, or, whatever. It's a different system, but still produces the same type of energy. But there's nothing wrong with carrying that scalar field with you as well and making sure that when you're in a high EMF environment, there's less of a risk of you being affected by it. No, we can't, as of yet, load Spooky 2 programs to the AHA Halo. It's a different animal. It's being used in different ways. Whether there's going to be a change in that, we don't know. This is still a relatively new, very exciting device for the entire group of companies. And yeah, when you start with one thing that they produce, after a while you'll be interested in more without the shadow of a doubt. Okay. Uh, Well, the individual frequencies I showed you in the presentation, they were from the Solfeggio scale. I always get the pronunciation of that word wrong. Okay, they do have their own individual properties. I highlighted the 528 because the 528 has got much more in terms of bench testing associated with it. There's much more peer research on the 528, and it is kind of like a heart chakra frequency, but it's also very good because it has its own particular properties. Now we can go back to the presentation and I can show you the solfeggio image all over again. And then you can just use that. Okay, when do they upload the trainings? This will be uploaded at some point in the short-term future. Okay, so there we go. And the YouTube channel is Aha Harmony. YouTube.com/at Aha Harmony with a capital A and a capital H. And that's basically pretty much all you need to know. Okay, right. I don't know if there is a previous version of the computer software because it's a very new device. So, okay, the Yamaha Halo software is new because the device is new. It's only like a this year thing. Okay, this is like the cutting edge of portability with scalar work. I don't think there's anything else which does quite so much stuff, and at comparatively such a low price. All right, it's very good. I'll quickly show you the presentation again. All right, because there was some talk about the need for. Whoops, let me just try and find it. There we go. To have a look at the properties of the Solfeggio frequencies. And let's scroll back to the list of Solfeggios. This is an image actually from the AHA Harmony website itself. So 174 supports the body's natural pathways for relief and rejuvenation, a powerful healing base frequency. 285 encourages cellular renewal, helping the body restore its innate state of balance and vitality. So these two lower solfeggios are very good for the body, for the cells, for the standard healing and restoration of the physical body. Then 396, we're moving into the more spiritual environments, okay? So that's to do with fear issues, emotional burdens, and also inner cleansing, psychological cleansing, personal growth. 417 clears stagnant energy. So therefore, if your energy field's got some negativity in it, it's about mental blockages, emotional blockages, moving yourself further forward. But 528 does a lot of good stuff. Okay, there are people who use 528 for helping all of the cells in lots of fun and beneficial ways. It's a nurturing state, a state of wholeness and loving resonance. There are some people who ascribe 528 for cellular rejuvenation and DNA rejuvenation and all manner of other good stuff as well. Now, the more you research 528, the more you'll realize what a good frequency it is. Then 639, that's all to do with supporting harmonious relationships. So at the lunch table around Christmas, 639 will be very useful. 741 clears mental clutter and awakens inner clarity, supporting intuitive insight. 852 deepens the connection to inner wisdom. So that's like your creative problem solving and therefore finding solutions inside yourself and working on yourself as an energetic being. Expanded awareness towards higher guidance, what is right for you. Basically, 852 is crown chakra. 258 is root chakra. 396 is sacral. 417 is solar plexus. 528 is heart. 639 is throat chakra. 741 is third eye. 852 is crown. And 963 is your higher states of consciousness. That's like the eighth chakra. That's the one above your head. Sense of unity and spiritual awakening. So you can run this from the Solfeggio itself inside the software as a chain, because there's just Solfeggio as a chain. It takes 27 minutes to go through. Or you can do what I'm doing right now and running a single Solfeggio for things you're trying to achieve in your life at this time. Okay? So there's ways of doing this, there's benefits to using this stuff, and it's silent. But it's still giving your energy field, your nervous system, your internal organs, information which is useful for everything that you require. All right. So, we're talking about quite powerful stuff here on quite a basic level. All right. But especially for those of you who do meditation. Okay. If you do the ascension meditation, you want to do gamma entrainment, and you can do that with this without binaural beats in your ears, without glasses over your eyes, without flashing lights. Okay, just run this around your neck, sit in your meditation and do it. Just choose your brainwave frequency and go into it. It's really beneficial, it's really useful, and you're getting the power of Scalar. Okay, does that make sense? Do we have any more questions here? Another thing you need to know about the company is that there's always a small percentage of each and every single sale which goes to humanitarian causes. It goes to orphanages. It goes to the third world. It goes to disaster zones. There's quite a few of those in the world right now. And also there's the release of captive animals into the wild. Animals who just like don't really deserve to go through terrible times or to be killed or whatever. You know, the money that you are raising through buying any product from any of the companies associated with this, including Aha Harmony. All right. It goes towards helping people you have never met and never will meet, and animals you have never met and never will meet, and people in really, really scary environments who you've never met and never will meet, and all who need help. So when you're buying this to care for yourself, you're caring for others. All right, very much so. All right. Yeah, you'll be able to get this presentation. It'll be out there at some point in the future, short-term future, and you'll be able to see it all. But there we go. Now you understand why this is such a good device, why you should get yourself one, why it's so important to yourself and other people that you get it. You can also use the holographic cards which come with these. You can charge them up and give them to people. You can give them the love frequency. You can give them the mindfulness. You can give them better sleep. You can give them stress and relaxation and rejuvenation. You just give them the gift of energy in their energy field. All right. All right. Yeah, you can. I mean, I often take plasma and scalar and contact work as well as having this going at the same time. I do that every night. All right, I've got the tools, and you can have them too. All right. All right, I think that's pretty much all. Nothing else has appeared in the question and answers. How do you charge the cards? Quite simple. You run a program. You put the card on top. You let it go through a full cycle of that program. Once through is okay. You take the card off. It's now charged. It's simple, very simple imprinting. Just run the program with a card on top or underneath it, you know. I'll be happy to do there will be a presentation that I'll be doing at some point in the future about plasma, about all kinds of other fun things. Keep in touch. Get in touch with me personally via the Spooky 2 forum, Nick Dewey, Dewey. Send me a message and I'll be happy to reply to you and tell you something about how this stuff works. All right. So I wish you all the best of luck for the new year. Yeah, you can shove holographic stickers on these things. Yeah, I mean the holographic stickers are fine, but the cards which come with the AHA Harmony are larger, and therefore you think that it's going to like contain more. It's going to have more information. If this thing has got like potentially 10,000 frequencies per program, right? Maybe a larger card is better. And so therefore, you can imprint on a larger area and you can carry that with you, even though you don't need to carry the device. So that's how it's done. It's an extra addition to your wellness on top of everything else, and it specifically provides you with Scalar. And if you're doing other forms of pathogen control, run Scalar as well. Okay, and you can just wear it under under your sweatshirt. No one knows you're doing it. Have it in your pocket, have it in your purse, your bag. You don't need if there's people around you who say they don't believe in all this stuff, you don't have to start some variety of controversial argument. You can keep your work covered and you'll know you're doing something for yourself, even though no one else knows you're doing it. All right, you can run the chakra frequencies, you can do all kinds of fun stuff. Get yourself one, and I'll speak to you again in the new year. All right, look after yourself.